we'd like to thank you all today for coming to our eBridge Connections ERP Integration Made Easy webinar. And today we're going to talk about your e-commerce investment and how integration can help you in terms of what you've invested and how you can better yourself with your e-commerce store. My name is Pam Van Asseldonk, and I'm the marketing coordinator here at eBridge Connections. I'm also here with Blair Petula, and he is our sales engineer who will give you more of an overview, the ins and outs of our e-commerce integration. I'm going to do a quick overview, and then he'll do something a little bit more in depth. So I'm going to start off by giving you an overview of the company, talk about what eBridge does and how we've done it over the last 20 years. And then I'm going to go in a quick overview of what our e-commerce integration has to offer. Blair will then discuss a more in-depth integration process, and then we'll have a quick Q&A at the end, so you can ask any questions you have about our integration and how we run on a day-to-day basis. So feel free to ask questions along the way, and we'll be sure to get to them at the end. So eBridge Connections was founded, like I said, over 20 years ago. This is actually our 20th year anniversary in the accounting software integration industry. We were founded by our current CEO, Colin Brown, back in 1993, and back then we only did EDI integration projects. Since then, we've added over 1,000 EDI trading partners, 20 e-commerce web stores, and popular CRM platforms. Our most recent milestone was putting our integration solution on the cloud, and we're continuously making innovations and improvements to our cloud-based integration solution. So a little bit about the eBridge Advantage. We're based out of Burlington, Ontario, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump away from Toronto, Canada. We build, maintain, and support all of our own solutions. We don't rely on any third-party software. Everything's actually done in-house. Our integration has the ability to integrate hundreds of different connections. There are many different advantages to the eBridge integration, and once you have your integration, we can add many different connections easily and quickly. So if you started with EDI and then you want to add an e-commerce cart after, that's something we definitely can do. Software upgrades and data format changes requested by your trading partners if you're doing EDI are included once you purchase your integration. We eliminate manual data entry by creating a seamless end-to-end integration platform, which is for important e-commerce web stores. We do everything bi-directional, so information can be sent to and from the ERP system to the web store and then back again. And then we also don't charge based on the number of documents you transfer. It's an annual fixed price, which a lot of our current customers are quite happy with. I'm now going to talk very briefly about our e-commerce integration, and then I'll hand it off to Blair, who will give you a little more in depth. So our e-commerce, we started that at eBridge in 2006, and it's been one of our main priorities, which we continuously update our adapters to allow integration with many different accounting systems. Our most common e-commerce connections would be customer and sales order information, product and price list updates, inventory updates, which include tracking numbers, and order status updates. But like I said, those are just the common ones that we do on a very regular basis. We can do many others, as well as we can build customized touch points specific to your project. I'm now going to pass it off to Blair, and he'll tell you a little bit more about the eBridge integration process.
Thanks, Pam. And like Pam was saying, we do cover a lot of different functionality, a lot of different ERPs, e-commerce sites, EDI technologies, but we're going to kind of focus just on shopping carts, web stores, and give you kind of an overview of how the information flows from our system to the web store and vice versa. So what eBridge can offer, we look at a basic architecture, a very strong architecture that's being built up over the years, bi-directional data exchange, so not just going from your Webstore to your ERP, but going back and updating things like inventory, customer information, order, tracking, shipping, all the important things that you're looking for. Touchpoints, you'll hear us talk about touchpoints either through this webinar or when we get a hold of you and our sales team, and touchpoints are simply those actionable items going back and forth, be it inventory updates, customer updates. The ePortal is our cloud-based kind of holding area for all the transactions that are occurring through the touchpoints, be it customer inventory management. Transactions are basically what they are, transactions happening between the two systems, and reports, offering you the statistics, some of the information, how often orders are placed, some of the meat of what's happening in your e-commerce situation. And business rules. Business rules is something relatively new. We'll be introducing those as the evolution of our product happens, and business rules are simply an easy, quick, painless way to make changes to, it basically does away with your mapping technology. So it's creating a rule that will let you choose what information you want to send and which information you want to receive through your different systems. So looking at our architecture from a very high level, we have our e-commerce on the left-hand side, which could be anything from Magento to BigCommerce to Amazon to eBay or any of the other stores that we support. The communication that happens between that and what we call the bridge, the ePortal, can happen via FTP, secure FTP, HTTPS, very secure or very open depending on your business needs. Once the orders are placed on your store, they'll go to the portal. They'll reside there, be archived over time, but they're basically being ready to be picked up. And where they get picked up by is goes into your ERP system or your file integration. It'll pass through a firewall that you'll set up and, of course, control. And that basically allows you that extra layer of security above and beyond what we offer. So once it goes and flows through to your ERP, essentially that is the last point of entry until you push it back up through the portal and then to your e-commerce site. So if you're updating things like inventory, numbers, maybe you're sending some tracking information, that's typically what we offer on going the other way. We also support multiple online storefronts, CRM applications like Salesforce, trading partners, and SCM applications. So you can think of it as the e-commerce and ERP are two different systems. They could exist essentially in different parts of the world, but we're able to bridge that gap, and that's what we do right in the middle. The information flows from one to the other in a seamless fashion. Your e-commerce store could exist within a hosted environment somewhere. It could be on site. Your ERP could be the same situation. It could be a hosted ERP, which a lot of them are offering now. It could be something that you have on site. In any case, we offer solutions to both, and we can marry the one side to the other. So if we're looking at simply breaking it down to like an e-commerce order type situation, we have many orders that are being placed. You could be a shop that has maybe 10 to 20 orders a week, maybe a day, or you could be a really heavy user. You could have a situation where you have 1,000 orders a day, and getting that information from your e-commerce down to your ERP is a very difficult thing. You could have situations where you have orders go missing, and we'll kind of explain the process going forward. So typically e-commerce orders, you have your customers. They could be simply customers like you would have at a brick and mortar type situation. They could have a situation where they could be vendors. You could have a mixed bag. We had clients come in and said, we have customers that can be one-off customers. We can have vendors or people looking to buy quite a large quantity from us and then be a reseller. So our e-commerce store does both. And can you handle that? And the answer is yes, we definitely can. It's typically whatever happens on your e-commerce end, if we do support it, even if it's a custom piece of software that you've created for your e-commerce store, we can definitely support that as well. The orders we place onto your store, just typically how they happen right now. The main difference is how you get those orders out. So right now, the orders are going to get out, maybe you get printed out, maybe get sent via email, maybe you have to retype that information in, maybe you have some sort of mapping already, just like a web form that's kind of doing it very slowly, or more of a manual push, and we're here to explain that we can do that a bit quicker. And how we do that is the typical order process right now could be you get your order in, it could be printed. So printing orders can lead to errors. They could be misplaced or lost. Let's say you print a volume of errors, maybe 100 orders. Somebody comes in over the weekend or during a different set of hours to enter those orders into your ERP. What happens if those orders get lost or one gets misplaced? That could be a very bad situation. So, and that brings in, somebody manually entering the orders. So you can have somebody or multiple people manually entering orders in your ERP. That takes time. It's a head count that you may or may not need. Basically, it takes away from maybe taking phone orders if you have to also do web orders. And really, you want to reduce the errors and omissions here. So once you get to the end point, you have a lot of errors. The other great thing about eBridge is because we're not printing orders, we're not processing them the old-fashioned way, we've been able to save over 10,000 trees since we've introduced some of our ERP solutions. So the eBridge process basically streamlines things. We take the order. We don't change the order. The order does not get printed. It goes to the portal and then gets fully integrated into your ERP system. So the information flows through quite seamlessly. There's no footprint for the eBridge software on your ERP, so you're not going to see an extra tab. Nobody will know you're running eBridge except probably your IT team. So that's another added advantage. And what we really look at is eliminating those order entry problems, eliminating the waste from printing, and eliminating the time. So your return on investment becomes quite high quite quickly. So some of the areas of integration that we focus on and we're going to talk about here today are basically 4 areas. We look at the inventory, the shipping, the tracking, and customers. And of course, we do offer many more types of integrations between each of these, but we're going to focus on these. So inventory at a very high level, we sync inventory across the system. So if you do have a situation where you're doing multiple orders, either on the phone or over the web, no matter what, as long as those orders are eventually brought into or entered manually, in the case of a phone order, if you're doing a mixed type ordering system, the inventory is going to sync across your system. So you'll have, if you're running a Magento store and you have 100 items and 50 get ordered, it gets reduced by 50. If you just did an online order for 10, then that item goes down to 40. So as long as you're entering the information correctly, it'll sync across the system seamlessly. We offer cross-referencing, so if you have different SKUs, it becomes very important. If you have different SKUs across different portals, like your Magento or eBay store or Amazon store, and you don't want to share the same SKU with your ERP, we have a translation table to manage that. When it comes to shipping, we can create ASNs, labels. We can do multiple pick and pack options, and we do integrate with some of the carrier systems as well. From a tracking perspective, once you actually have the orders in place, how do I update my customer once the order gets shipped? Probably one of the most important pieces, especially from a customer perspective. So what we offer is basically a way to push that tracking information once you receive it, and once the item actually is ready to ship out of your warehouse or out of your facility, that information goes back to your Webstore, so your customers will have it on their order screen and be basically, if you want them to be emailed that tracking information, that's possible as well. And then from a customer perspective, you might have one-off customers, you might have customers that use the system quite regularly. What we offer is we can sync sync the customer data across your systems, or we can create what we call a customer on the fly. So if a customer doesn't exist, we can create that customer at the point of sale, basically. So again, saving you time and effort of putting the information in right, having the customer not be available, or having that customer information appear in your ERP automatically. That's what we offer. And you can also use multiple ship addresses, and we can actually also update on the Webstore side if orders change or ship to changes. We can make those adjustments as well. So some of these connections, these are many of the connections that we have. We support over 40 ERP and accounting packages, from small to medium to enterprise solutions. On the other side, EDI trading partner-wise, we support hundreds and hundreds of trading partners. We support many, many different carding systems and many different CRM systems like Salesforce and Microsoft Dynamics. From a business integration point of view, I'll hand it back to Pam.
So eBridge, we build a universal platform that supports integration among a combination of more than 1,000 endpoints. You can connect your data between your ERP and popular e-commerce carts like Magento or Amazon, EDI trading partners like Walmart, or CRM applications like Salesforce. An integrated flow of data provides you with insight that you need to make strong decisions for your business. eBridge enables you to leverage your investments that you've made within your ERP system with a minute-by-minute data updates and external business applications, so you can focus on your business and do what your company does best, and we'll focus on the behind-the-scenes stuff. eBridge has many partners, and to help effectively assist our customers in providing many options for integrated solutions. Over the past year, eBridge has really made great strides in our e-commerce partnerships, and we're continuing to do so by building relationships on a daily basis. Above are some pictures, or above or below, are some pictures of examples of the e-commerce partnerships that we hold. And if any of you are going to be around in Chicago at IRCE, we'll be there as well. We're booth 101, so feel free to stop by, and we'd be happy to chat about integration or e-commerce, anything you'd like. We're excited to see everyone there. I'm going to talk a little bit about beyond just our e-commerce integration, and we offer multiple storefronts. Like I said, you can go EDI, CRM, and e-commerce. If that's what your company does, we will find a way to integrate the information back and forth over various e-commerce platforms as well as trading partners. So as long as you have an endpoint, we will try to integrate with it. Well, now just about at the end of our time, so we'll open it up to questions. Please feel free to pass them over just in the webinar screen, and we'd be happy to answer whichever questions you have.
So I have a couple of questions that popped up here. One of the questions is, how do I get to see this integration working? So we've kind of gone through some of the, the basics, just brushed it with a broad stroke. But essentially, we can set up a demo, customize a demo for your particular environment. Somebody like myself would actually run that demo and show you how the integration works from from a web store, be it Magento or BigCommerce or eBay, and how it flows through to our bridge. So that's definitely something you can set up with some of our sales reps. They'll probably be in contact with you shortly after this webinar. Just a couple more questions coming through. Do you also support Magento Go? I certainly believe we do support Magento Go, so that's something we do support. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of the other questions here. And one question came up, how do we get this installed in our system? So I did make mention that this system does, it's a very small footprint. It can exist on your current ERP. It can be installed on a separate server with access to the internet. At least, obviously, you want 24/7 access. And the question of making sure that there's no orders lost. In the case of an outage or a problem, all the orders are stored on our portal for basically how those orders will be released. So if something happens, those orders will sit there until your system's back up and running, and then it'll pull those orders down and process them.
We've got a couple questions here about different e-commerce carts. So one asks about Miva Merchant. We definitely integrate with Miva Merchant. That's one. Just because the picture wasn't on the one screen doesn't mean we don't integrate. So if you go to our blueprint on our eBridge Connections website, you can see all the different e-commerce carts that we connect to. And another is one asked if we have a generic e-commerce cart that's not yet supported. If we don't support the cart, definitely still put in your contact information. We'll come out and contact you. We've done specific customizations. We've done, we've built new adapters. So just because at this point, if we don't currently support it, then we can definitely look into supporting it in the future, or like I said, do something customized that would be easier for you and your company.
There's been a few questions about pricing and affordability. Definitely contact our sales reps. They can definitely help you out with some basic pricing structures and how we build things out via touchpoints and basic costs to integrate. And I think that's pretty much it from a question standpoint. Be aware we have all the questions being recorded, and I'm sure we'll be reaching out to each and every one of you to kind of go through this. But now we're going to close this off, and hopefully we've entertained everybody today.
So just because we may not have been able to answer your question, like Blair said, we are definitely going to pass these questions along to our integration specialists, and they will be in contact with you to answer your integration questions. In the meantime, feel free to check out our website, call into the sales team, send us an email. We'll be happy to get back to you as soon as possible. And then we're also on Twitter. If you have any e-commerce or ERP integration questions, feel free to post them there, or feel free to follow us just in terms of ERP and e-commerce news and data that we pass along on a daily basis. So Blair and I would both just like to say thank you very much for your time. We really enjoyed this webinar, and feel free to join